This is Mac OS Ken.
A product rumor I cannot resist. A lower target for Apple shares, and Apple still owns the smartphone space. It is Friday, the 20th of May, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by SimpliSafe, the right way to protect your home. Get a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring at simplysafe.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Upstart, fair and fast personal loans. It can be hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel when you have high interest debt, and sometimes it can be even harder to ask for help. That's where Upstart comes in. Upstart-powered personal loans can help you pay down high-interest debt, all online with simple and easy-to-understand payment terms. You're more than just your credit score. Upstart knows that. Instead of just your credit score, Upstart's model considers additional factors like your income, employment, and other information provided in your loan application to find you a smarter rate for your loan. You can check your rate in minutes for loans between $1,000 to $50,000 without impacting your credit score, and you can receive funds as fast as one business day after accepting your loan. Don't wait and check your rate today at upstart.com/macOSKen. UPSTART. That's upstart.com/macOSKen to check your rate today. Don't forget to use my URL to let them know I sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/macOSKen. I am not a huge fan of product rumor stories, but I will make an exception for this one. A report from Bloomberg says Apple demonstrated its mixed reality headset to its board of directors last week. That is a sign that development of the device has reached an advanced stage, according to people with knowledge of the matter, according to Bloomberg. The piece says the first device will be an AR-VR combo, though a set of standalone AR glasses is also in the works. Bloomberg also says that work on ROS, the operating system that will reportedly run the thing or things, has kicked into high gear in recent weeks. And the piece says the device could still see introduction later this year or early next year. As for the show and tell for the board, the report says they have, in the past, been the first group outside of Apple's regular employees to see future products. So if I don't like product rumor stories, why am I doing this one? Well, I'm glad I asked. There are a few reasons. First of all, though the piece cites secret sources only, it was written by Mark Gurman. His sources tend to be pretty sound. Next, I am a believer in the potential of both virtual reality and augmented reality, so any chance to talk about those is cool with me. And finally, I thought it might be fun to have a top story of the day that wasn't about COVID, supply chain issues, governments trying to stifle Apple, Apple trying to stifle employees, or war. This is, or at least may be, a story about the future of Apple. The way Gurman puts it, the headset, which combines elements of virtual and augmented reality, is Apple's next big bet. It represents the company's first major new product category since the Apple Watch in 2015 and would vault the tech giant into a still nascent industry. And I am there for that all day long. The story has details about the hardware, which I'm not going to do here. Who knows how closely the thing members of the board put on their heads will resemble whatever we eventually get to try ourselves. If you want to read about the gear, I will have a link to the story on macosken.com. News of a lowered price target on Apple shares, though not a lowered rating. On Thursday, Apple 3.0 ran part of a note from BofA analyst Wamsi Mohan. He still really likes Apple and the iPhone. He sees good times ahead for both, better times even. Among the positives listed, size of the global iPhone installed base was about 1.1 billion units at the end of last year. The used iPhone installed base has been growing faster than the new iPhone installed base, a trend Mohan expects to see continue. A larger installed base can eventually drive higher consumption of services and sales of incremental devices, a halo effect, if you will. The iPhone installed base in China has been growing faster than other regions. He expects that to continue. And secondary market growth presents a large services opportunity. What's not to love? Well, macroeconomic headwinds and supply chain headwinds. Those make the firm's previous target of $215 too rich for Mohan. He's kept his buy rating on Apple shares, but lowered his price target on the shares to $200. I gotta say, he's left the target in a pretty respectable neighborhood considering Apple's current stock price. Shares closed Thursday at $137.35. Mohan's had been the street's highest 12-month price target for Apple shares. That honor is split now between Evercore's Amit Daryanani and Loop Capital's Ananda Barua. They've each got a $210 target on Apple shares. For those keeping score, says Apple 3.0, that is $72.65 or 35% above Thursday's closing price. Though past performance is not indicative of future results, just like they say on the radio, a couple of market trackers seem to offer support for the faith BofA's Mohan has an iPhone. One has Apple shipping half the smartphones in North America last quarter, while the other has iPhone claiming double the revenue of any competing smartphone. Starting with the shipments, TechCrunch has word of new numbers from Canalys. According to the report, sales of the iPhone 13 propelled Apple to 51% of the total North American market, with 19.9 million units shipped. That's up 45% from the same quarter a year earlier. Canalys says an emphasis by Apple on the U.S. was helpful as international markets got a bit shaky. The new iPhone SE also helped the company capture more of the mid-range market, according to the piece. Running down the March quarter North American smartphone top 5, Apple was first with 51%, Samsung was second with a 27% share, Lenovo was third with 10%, TCL was fourth with 4%, Google rounds out the top 5 with 3%, and the other 5% went to a motley crew of others. What's the old phrase? He who dies with the most toys wins. Yes, shipping the most toys looks better. A piece from Cult of Mac has Counterpoint Research doing the dollars thing. According to the report, global iPhone revenue in the first 3 months of 2022 hit $50.6 billion, up 5% year over year, and a March quarter record. By Counterpoint's reckoning, that was almost half of the global take. Running through that firm's worldwide top 5 in terms of smartphone revenue for the March quarter, Apple was first with $50 billion, up 5% year over year. Samsung was a pretty distant second with $21 billion, up 4% year over year. Xiaomi's next with $8 billion in revenue, down 3% year over year. Oppo came in with $8 billion as well, though they were down 9% year over year. And Vivo rounds out the top 5 with $7 billion in revenue, down 29% year over year. And again, a motley crew of others made some money, $17 billion among the lot of them. That was down 11% from the same quarter a year earlier. Now, it's weird that Canalys credits iPhone's performance in the U.S. to Apple focusing on the States while the rest of the world went squiffy. Cult of Mac has counterpoint indicating that Apple's global revenue increase in the March quarter is a result of double-digit growth in China and Western Europe, despite a marginal annual shipment decline. TSMC, the world's largest chip producer and Apple's manufacturing partner on its A-series and M-series processors, may be eyeing new facilities in Singapore. Secret sources tell the Wall Street Journal that is the case. For the chip maker's part, a spokesperson says TSMC does not rule out any possibility, but does not have any concrete plan at this time. That said, they are said to be talking. One source indicates that preliminary talks involve a major plant whose cost would run into the billions of dollars. Other sources indicate that the Singaporean government might help fund the plant and that negotiations are underway with the government's Economic Development Board. Current direction would have the plant making 7nm to 28nm chips, according to yet another secret so-and-so. The piece says those chips are based on older production technologies and are widely used in cars, smartphones, and other devices. You know the legacy nodes that Apple CEO Tim Cook says have caused supply constraints for the company? Yeah, this plant or plants would apparently address that shortfall. One assumes that would be years from now, though. You can't build a billions of dollars facility overnight. Plus, it's not just chips that are in short supply, but also the machines that make the chips. It looks like the processor-hungry planet is still a ways away from relief, but relief may be on the way. More news in a moment, but first a word from SimpliSafe, the right way to protect your home. If you're like most people, you probably think of SimpliSafe as a way to beat bad guys, to protect against break-ins and prowlers. But people aren't the only thing that can hurt your home. Let's say you go away for the day or the weekend. Let's say you're away from home and the basement floods. The more time passes, the more damage is done. That means more and more money for repair, plus the time and the work, and you can try to head all of that off with SimpliSafe. A SimpliSafe water sensor detects leaks and potential floods, so you can stop water damage before it happens. If it detects water, it will alert SimpliSafe, just like it would for a break-in. Then they can alert you, and you can either get home or get somebody to take care of it before real damage is done. With a comprehensive SimpliSafe system and 24/7 professional monitoring, you can have somebody always looking out for you. Plans cost under $1 a day with no long-term contracts or hidden fees, and installation is a breeze. I had my base station, keypad, and door sensors up and running in well under an hour. Whole home protection. That is SimpliSafe. You can customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplisafe.com/macOSKen. Go today and claim a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring. SIMPLI. Go to simplisafe.com/macOSKen. Boy, Apple is not lollygagging with the latest beta parade. Just one day after releasing them to developers, several posts on iMore had Apple offering up the first betas of iOS and iPadOS 15.6, macOS Monterey 12.5, watchOS 8.7, and tvOS 15.6 to participants in its public testing program. If you're part of that, you know what to do. If you would like to be part of it, the place to learn more and sign up is beta.apple.com. Apple Music is getting a new home behind the wheel of an Audi. Well, in the dash, I guess. Mac Rumors had the car maker saying this week that access to Apple's music streaming service will be available soon in almost all of the 2022 models thanks to an over-the-air software update. Now, this isn't Audi adding CarPlay. Rather, the piece says Audi owners will gain the ability to access their personal Apple Music library directly in their vehicle's multimedia interface, or MMI, screen. CarPlay sounds easier, but what do I know? Available in Europe, North America, and Japan, the report says Apple Music integration will be rolled out to nearly all existing 2022 model year Audi vehicles via an automatic over-the-air update and will come in many new Audis as standard. Apple TV Plus has announced a premiere date for the third season of Trying. The most I can tell you about the comedy without spoiling anything is that Season 3 apparently picks up right where Season 2 left off. I know that's not overly helpful, but I really hate spoiling shows. Here's what I can tell you. Season 3 is 8 episodes long. The first hits Apple TV Plus on Friday, the 22nd of July. They will land one per week on successive Fridays. If you're cool having the show spoiled, more info is available on Apple's site. And finally today, next week is Dinosaur Week on Apple TV Plus, and the company has one more sneak peek before it kicks off. Oh, they're not calling it Dinosaur Week, though. Kind of wish they were. Instead, Cult of Mac says the Cupertino streamer has released a new trailer for Prehistoric Planet, a 5-night docuseries that will explore the age of the dinosaur from the Arctic to the oceans. There is so much that is interesting about what Apple is doing here. First, there's the show itself. According to the report, it's being produced for Apple by BBC Studios' Natural History Unit, creators of the Emmy-winning Planet Earth. It'll also feature photorealistic visual effects from MPC, the company behind the effects in the sort of live-action Lion King and Jungle Book Disney movies. To me, though, the most interesting thing is the week-long reveal. Quoting the Cult again, the 5-part series is set to debut globally on Apple TV Plus from Monday, the 23rd of May, through Friday, the 27th. The focus will be on a different habitat every night: coasts, deserts, freshwater, ice worlds, and forests. They are doing a week of appointment viewing starting Monday. Kind of crazy. Between now and then, you can see the short second trailer for the series on YouTube. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Upstart. Fair and fast personal loans. Learn more and check your rate at upstart.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by SimpliSafe. Get a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring at simplysafe.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.